Tonight on Country Squire Radio, it's a Squire Select night, and I'm just realizing I haven't checked the audio to see if this is coming through the right filter. I'm going to do that right now and make sure
What an
that's
idiot.
working.
I'm
Look,
just kidding.
I normally always check that.
It is checking the whole thing?
It is coming through the right filter. All right, good.
So they can hear us and we don't sound like Shrek or anything?
No, yeah. I think we're all good.
Okay.
Let's take it from the top. Tonight on Country Squire Radio, it's a Squire Select kind of night. So we are pairing up pipe tobacco and various whiskeys, specifically with a cask theme, plus a pipe question on reading books while smoking your pipe, listener feedback, great club giveaways, and more happening right now on Country Squire Radio. Welcome to Country Squire Radio. I'm Beau.
And I'm John David.
JD.
Hey, Beau. Good evening, man.
Man, good evening to you, sir. How you doing tonight?
Dude, I'm great. This Squire Select night. Man.
It is.
It's always fun. We hadn't had this
So
in a while. And fortunately, you just knocked over this glass that
I know.
did not have any aged whiskey inside of it. And so, man, that worked out great. Yeah,
Look,
congratulations.
Thank you for
But the night
that.
is young, and, you know, we're probably due for some new equipment anyway.
Live listeners know, longtime live listeners know that generally whenever there is any kind of beverage out in front of us here on the tobacco counter while we're recording, I tend to knock it over. And so you just make sure you keep yours well over there. I'll do my best to keep mine behind me.
We need to figure out like kind of a range. You know what I mean? Like you need a buffer zone.
You mean like my what do you call it?
Well,
Wingspan?
your wingspan.
Yeah. I think we're rough here. We'll see what happens. The tally is out. The drinking game is on. Every single time I knock over a cup, take a sip, and I think that's how we'll do it tonight.
Yeah, if people are not, just call a cab, get an Uber. Yeah, for all those listening.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. We got a great show. We already had a lot of you guys already tweeting in, telling us that you're ready for us. We got a great live show here tonight. Hopefully you'll be enjoying a little bit of the brown water. Those of you who do partake, man, we've got a lot of great things going on in the pipe community. But one of the things we gotta mention right off the bat, of course, is that we have been celebrating the new launch, of the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club.
That's right.
With the new founding members who are joining this month.
That's right.
First of all, before we get into the part that everybody wants to hear about, who won the big prize, let me just give a shout out real quick to new members of the Pipe Club. And here we go. I'm talking about Jeremy Larson, Andrew Cask, Cooper Miles, Charlie Bach, Mitch Krytel. I hope I pronounced those names right, because I butchered them last week.
I think you nailed it.
All of those at the full Squire level. We also have new Pipe Pilgrims joining us as well. Howard Oakes, Dan Sanford, and Jeremy White. So guys, welcome to the club. Thank y'all so much for joining. And yeah, we've got now the way that we do this,
right?
It's important because every single week throughout the month, as kind of as a thank you and a welcome to the club, we're doing a random giveaway to a club member.
That's right.
Every single episode this month. Now, it doesn't mean that you had to join this past week. If you've joined from the beginning, you're in the running.
You're still in the mix, right? Yeah.
You're in it till you win it, so to speak, or
right.
until the month runs out. But one way or the other. What again was the prize that we mentioned last week?
Dude, I'm so excited about this because these have been selling like hotcakes here at the shop. Friend of Country Squire Radio, Danny Vasquez in Ames, Iowa. For those of you who have been longtime listeners, Danny does bird and bear pipes and is just really talented. He's a genuine, soft-hearted guy. He's like 8 feet tall, and has 28 kids. He's just a great guy. But anyway, he, as a part-time kind of thing, is into pipe carving and also does some leather work as well. And man, Danny just does a great job. But he made this limited edition set of distressed pigskin smokers pouches.
Now I gotta ask,
they're amazing.
How do you get the pig distressed before you skin it?
That's a good point. I don't know.
I guess if he knows he's about to be skinned, he's
he's probably pretty distressed.
Yeah,
I would think so.
Okay,
yeah.
Right, yeah.
Or maybe they fed him like Brussels sprouts or something. But
that'll do it.
Yeah, man, these sell for $60. And it's just a really nice, soft, distressed leather pouch. It's got just a real nice patina on there, and it's going to grow with time. Smells good. You can put, your little bag of pipe tobacco in it, a tin of pipe tobacco, your pipe cleaners, lighter, anything you've got with you. People have actually also used them for cigars, believe it or not, too. If you just want to tote a few around town with you while you're out.
See that, sure.
Man, it's just a really nice kind of multi-purpose bag. Super nice. And then we also have a Jetline pipe lighter, it's butane, and pipe flame, soft flame made for a pipe, comes out at an angle. And man, just that's our giveaway today.
All right.
So yeah.
All right. So the winner, now that this was chosen,
we did a random choosing beforehand.
That's right.
We had our friend Google helped us out choosing a number.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, our winner tonight is Brian Hook from Canoga Park, California.
Woo!
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Brian Hook, member number S0000003. A lot of, I'm trying to remember all the zeros.
That's great, man. Yeah, absolutely. So congrats, Brian. We'll be sending that to you, and we just really appreciate you and everyone that have honored us by joining the club and helping support Country Squire Radio.
Yeah, in fact, early last week after the show was recorded, I started getting out the pipe membership club cards and everything.
Yeah.
And, getting the avatars out there. Actually, I've seen some of the avatars floating around on Twitter, which is just so exciting to see. We also, I got to do a little bit of tech support because a couple of you guys have kind of asked about the RSS feed. Now, this is true if whether or not you're a member or you're just someone who's supporting us on Patreon. Which, by the way, patreon.com/Country Squire Radio, great way to help out the show. Even if you don't necessarily want to join and be part of the club, you can still help support this podcast for just $1 an episode, which we really greatly appreciate. And even if you do that, you do get the full archive in the form of an RSS.
That's right.
Now, some people, the way things are supposed to work is it should auto produce an RSS feed as part of the thank you and welcome email. So if you want to, make sure that after you join, go back and look for that email. But just to play it safe, man, I think what I'll do is this week on the blog, the blog that's there for just the patrons and and club members, I'll be sure to post it out and just repost it there, and so that way you can find it. And just let me know if you have any issues. You can get show@Country Squire Radio. You can email me. I'm happy to give you a little bit of help as well. So just let me know.
Country Squire Radio.
Country Squire.
And you'll want to probably check a spam folder too. I'm assuming. I don't know. If you donate and don't get an email, you might just want to check there because I know some folks are saying, hey, I haven't got an email yet or whatever. But we'll get the kinks worked out. This is kind of fresh, but they were really excited. A lot of folks have started digging into that that archive of Squire episodes from the very beginning. Man,
more
some
power
of them,
to you.
Yeah, man. If you're devoted like that, I mean, they're you can definitely see an evolution there. You can definitely see.
We sound so weird in those first episodes.
Lord, I hope there's a maturity that's happened over time. It's just it's really something. Maybe not a maturity, but maybe a practice makes better kind of thing.
That's I think we were finding our groove. Like you listen to those early episodes and like I sound completely different because we're like, all right, trying to be professional, and
we were just
nervous.
We were scared and didn't have a groove, and just didn't our vision, though we kind of had it wasn't fully realized yet,
No, so, it was about 10 episodes before we really kind of got a grasp on what the show was.
I think so, yeah. They were a lot of fun, it was great. Of course, we had some awesome interviews there at the very beginning. I know we mentioned not too long ago, David Delagardelle, our good friend who, is a freaking swordsmith.
So one of these days, one of my favorite artists. Yeah.
And it talked to so many interesting people along the way, but I look forward to hearing what people say when they go back and dig through some of those questionable treasures.
Yep, that's about right. That's about right. You can definitely see the improvement.
Yep.
Man, one other thing I want to mention before we dive into the meat, as it were, of this episode is last week I talked about, actually it was part of the pipe question of the week. It was from me. I was referring to a pipe that had been kind of rubbed off at the bottom, and I was wondering if I could just put some paint on it or if it had to go the full, strip it down and basically revitalize the entire pipe. I want to say I've gotten a great feedback from folks on Twitter, on Facebook, and just a real quick shout out to Dan C. Sanford, who actually offered to basically revitalize this pipe for me, which is so kind. And I got to tell you, I got it out. I took him some pictures. I sent it to him. And the more I've been thinking about it, this is going to sound weird. So don't judge me.
You are weird. I
don't want to put the pipe through like the trauma of like getting it all like scrubbed down. And I mean, I know that's the right thing to do, but I love that pipe so much that, I know that, Dan obviously does some great work, and I want to give you a shout out, Dan, so much for offering to do that. But I think I'm just going to let it ride. However, I'll let you know.
Well, the beauty of it is you can do whatever the heck you want. Some people have these flawed pipes, and the flaw kind of is an endearing thing.
I mean, I hate it, but also don't I? Do I hate it?
Yeah.
I think I hate it. I don't know.
Maybe you don't. Maybe next month you'll love it. I don't know.
It's one of these things. The second that pipe leaves my hand, I know I'm going to want to smoke it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, absolutely. I get it. I get it. There's been a pipe, a Jacano pipe I've had. This is Night Series that I've had for, gosh, probably 4 years now. And I want to sell it all the time until I get ready to sell it.
Right.
And then I'm like, smoke it one more time.
Well,
it's just ridiculous. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things, like even the reason I even got it back out when looking at it, because I was trying to think of, I want to offload some of these pipes. I want to sell them.
Right.
And then I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, which, by the way, actually standing, the way that the camera is angled here, for the live show, they've always been able to kind of get a look at what's behind us.
Yeah, that's right.
The angle is, the picture that's always on our banner and everything else is from a different angle. And typically to my left, which is, I guess, stage left, has been a poster of Sherlock Holmes, which you have since taken down this past week and moved.
Maybe I can take a photo of kind of what I've done over here.
Tell people what you've done.
Well, okay, it's just kind of neat. Unfortunately for those that are viewing live, you won't be able to see this, but so on the wall right next to the tobacco bar here and all the tobacco jars, there was this picture, like Beau mentioned, of Sherlock Holmes. We've moved that, and there was a pipe rack that was for sale in this shop for probably 30 years, 25, 30 years, who knows really. But it's an old pipe rack that hangs on the wall, and each pipe, it's got these little rubber things in it. It holds probably 35 pipes. And each hole in it for the pipe has these little rubber gasket things you can kind of poke the stem through, and the pipe hangs down. And so it's kind of cool. I just put them right there. I was tired of having to dig through a basket through all my pipes just to find one. If I'm up here, generally I'm smoking a pipe anyway. But a lot of times I need to get one real quick just so I can help someone, show someone how to pack a pipe, show someone how to light a pipe, or, sample a new tobacco that, I need to smoke or something like that. So this way it's just kind of handy. It's just right over there. And I've got, I've already had a bunch of folks that have even been like, man, you want to sell that thing? And I've been like, no, I have not.
Dude, look, it is a nice rack. You have got a nice rack right there. I was admiring that as soon as I came in, and I wanted it. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you for admiring my rack.
It's a nice rack.
That's very kind.
Sizable too. I didn't even know that you could get a rack that big. I'm serious.
It is. It's
literally, how many pipes do you have there?
This is ridiculous.
Are you reading? No, you should not be reading. I am sitting here trying to compliment your rack, sir.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you for speaking so highly about my rack. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably got right now maybe 27 pipes on it, something like that.
It's
yeah,
nice
I don't
rack.
know, but anyway, it's I
hope it's not inappropriate for me to compliment your rack.
Oh no, you can talk about my rack any time.
It's awesome. I just posted a picture to Twitter as well, so if y'all want to see it, it's awesome, and the extensive John David Cole collection of pipes. Well, man, you mentioned it at the top of the show, and yes, in fact, this is a Squire Select episode. Now, longtime listeners know Squire Select is where we take something, typically beverages, and generally typically beverages of an alcoholic nature, and pair them with pipe tobacco.
Have we done anything other than alcohol?
We've done tea before.
We did tea.
We haven't done coffee officially. We've talked about doing coffee.
Yeah.
I think we definitely want Caleb the intern when we do that.
And then we've talked, of course, about doing barbecue, which I've torpedoed multiple times, but apparently
the listeners talk.
A fan favorite would be a barbecue and tobacco pairing.
I'm just saying, man.
We'll just play it by ear. Yeah,
that needs to happen. But yeah, so typically it is some form of whiskey. Tonight we're doing something a little bit different. We are doing whiskey. We've got one Scotch, one whiskey, and one Irish whiskey. But both of these have a similarity, which is a cask nature to
That's
them.
right.
Now,
right.
Cask, when I hear cask, I think that it has been aged in something that you would not traditionally think it's been aged in.
Yeah,
is that right?
And that's typically what happens. Yeah, of course, I'm not super familiar with these things, but my kind of 30,000 foot view understanding is they, will process the liquor like you might expect. If be it whiskey or Scotch in a oak barrel. And then after that, they'll finish it off in something. You see a lot of these sherries or rum flavors or beer or so on and so forth. And so and that kind of finishing flavor just imparts whatever properties that had into this whiskey or Scotch that you're getting. So it just creates kind of an interesting limited edition thing. And a lot of times these companies will take some of their higher end stuff, of course, to do this with, that our famed old charter that's been aged for 8 seasons. They're not going to make a cask strength old charter that's from the most delicate sherry casks of port.
But what if they took the cheapest? What if they got the cheapest sherry casks? That would have been.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you finish Old Charter in like a barrel of your grandmother's tears.
They aged it in a. They aged it in a bargain barrel, like literally. That was the barrel that they aged it. Some bargain barrel at Dollar General. No offense to Old Charter, but no, tonight.
No, there can be plenty of offense.
Tonight we're actually doing some fun, something a little bit fun here. We've got kicking us off. We've got a Scotch, very much on kind of the higher end.
That's right.
And then we're finishing off something with kind of more of the not lower end.
No, it's not low end. Yeah,
but something a little bit more in the affordable range as well.
Sure.
So I'm excited and ready to drink some Scotch.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm glad I had lunch today. All right, so we are starting tonight with Balvenie Caribbean Cask. This is it says extra matured in rum casks. It's aged 14 years. Balvenie, of course, single malt whiskey from Scotland. It's just one of those real high end whiskeys that it's one of those you're gonna pinch a few pennies and buy to celebrate something, or this is not a bottle you're gonna go buy right before the football game kind of thing, to
Right.
mix with your Diet Coke, or whatever. But
gosh,
Balvenie, of course, it's just got such a rich tradition and flavor, and it's one of those that I think is certainly a strong Scotch. It's not overwhelming as far as its peatiness goes.
No.
It's not, but you definitely have plenty of body there. And what they've done, this is really great. They've actually taken it after it's been aged 14 years. They age it 14 years in oak barrels, which typically for Scotches is kind of interesting. They're aged in American bourbon barrels, which are kind of fascinating. That's
right?
a tradition
Yeah.
that's happened for quite a while. So they age them in these oak barrels, and they finish them in Caribbean rum casks. And so the distiller of this, I forget his name, but he actually hand chose the casks and selected these. I think he called them East Indian rums and all this kind of stuff, which tend to be when you think of rum, you're thinking something sweeter and maybe a little lighter. I don't know, but rum has its own thing.
Yeah,
So,
I could never get into just pure rum. I've tried several times, and I don't mind like some like beach cocktails with rum in them.
yeah, sure.
But like straight up rum, it's way too sweet.
It's just
to
not
me.
really my thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember in college, drinking occasionally. What was that foul stuff that tastes like
Jägermeister.
No,
That wasn't
it's
your
rum.
college experience?
No, rum is that Jaeger's a liqueur. No, I drank that rum that tastes like sunscreen, Malibu. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
And the bottle looks like sunscreen.
Yeah,
too,
no, it really does. It looks like something you'd squirt on, someone's back and rub it in. Yeah. But,
And so that was your college experience.
no, yeah, pretty much in a nutshell. Yeah, that was it. The
Oh,
parts
man.
I remember anyway. No, I'm just kidding. Man. So I've kind of had my rum days, but I probably need to experience more of that just so I can get a better understanding. But you think of rum as kind of lighter, sweeter notes. Particularly those spiced rums have some more complexity to them. And so what they've done here is they've taken this incredible 14-year Balvenie, finished it in the rum barrel. One thing I'm curious about, there's not a consensus out there as to how much. When they say they finished it in the rum barrel, what does that mean? I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know how long it's been in the rum barrel. I don't know, if they were all mixed together or if each bottle represents a different barrel. I mean, there's just no telling kind of how they do this. But
yeah.
when you drink it, you'll find notes of sweet, kind of lingering warmth that goes with it, and also toffee and vanilla, and some people get some fruit flavors too. So I think it's time that we see what we taste.
Pour it up, barkeep. And while you're doing that, I want to mention that it's interesting. Balvenie, way back when we first did the podcast in kind of the early days, we did a Malt Madness whiskey. I forgot what it was, but kind of a bracket comparison for various.
Oh yeah, we did it like like March Madness. but
Exactly.
with booze.
Yeah, with various scotches and bourbons and whiskeys. And Balvenie was in our top 3. I believe that it was either third or second place, selected by the actual listeners. And so it's actually always been one that I've wanted to try. And this Christmas, I asked Santa Claus for a bottle of Balvenie, and Santa Claus came back with this particular take. I was like,
Oh,
well,
that's good.
this wasn't necessarily what I was asking for per se, but after a little bit of a sip of it,
Santa Claus nailed it.
We'll
find out.
We'll find out. Cheers.
Cheers, Beau.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
You know, I was just laughing because yes, this is delicious, but like the times we've taken the first swig of whatever drink we have done, and not come back immediately with, oh, that's so good. That we have had a few of those, but not many.
No, not many.
Not many. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is extra fine. It's one of those that I think the sweet buttery notes kind of linger there. It certainly is sweeter than what you would expect a normal Scotch to be. Certainly something like Balvenie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't go to whiskey. I don't go to bourbon. I don't go to Scotch wanting sweet. You know what I mean? Like if it's a certain cocktail, like if it's an old fashioned, obviously I expect there to be some kind of citrus notes there with the way that the drink is mixed. But it's generally not something that I would like mentally go to. However, this is like the perfect I don't even know how to say it. Just like the perfect taste of sweetness.
Yeah.
That almost brings out the burn a little bit.
Yeah. I almost feel like if, this would be the kissing cousin of a bourbon almost if a Scotch and a bourbon were to get together and have a love child. It might look something like this, there's, like you said, it brings out enough of the bite. It's a little sweet, but it still has enough of the Scotch peatiness to kind of shine. So I don't know. I like it a lot. We have a pairing tonight. We're getting all kinds of great tweets. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that I've become a meme.
Oh, I certainly appreciate it. But
that's what John David's for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Beau needs his loving. So great. We're pairing this tonight, and I'm particularly proud of this pairing. I thought this was good, particularly with just the notes that come with this excellent whiskey. But we're going to pair this with Da Vinci. This is made by Dan Tobacco. Da Vinci has been around for a long time. It's kind of a chunky style tin. It's a coin style tin. Has a picture of Mona Lisa on the front. And it says Da Vinci in Fumo e Verita. And it's
Veritas.
Il Tobacco Toscano per la Pipa. And basically what this is, it is pipe tobacco. It's Virginia's and Black Cavendish that's infused with Chianti. It's infused with kind of this Italian table wine.
Oh, interesting.
And so
sorry, I stole it from you. There you go.
No, it's fine. Anyway, just it's an aromatic tobacco. It's not something that's super wet though. It's just got a real nice flavor topping on there that makes it kind of creamy. It burns a little warm, but it's one of those that if you puff slowly, it'll treat you right. It's actually what I've been smoking tonight, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. So, but Beau, I'm eager for you to smell this. The first time I ever smelled this particular pipe tobacco, I was just blown away by the tin note of it. So give it a whirl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is unlike anything.
Yeah. If you're an aromatic smoker of any stripe at all, even if you're like me and you just smoke aromatic tobaccos occasionally, man, at some point, grab a tin of Da Vinci. Like it's just a good aromatic pipe tobacco. Like
I kind of feel like I stepped into a vineyard.
Yeah. So and I don't know if you noticed there's these chocolate notes that come through on that, and it's with the fruit.
It's like a chocolate cherry,
almost like a chocolate covered cherry that you might get at Christmas, but there's a cream element to it there also. And anyway, I thought that would pair nicely with just the toffee and vanilla that goes with this Balvenie. So
I challenge the listener. Anytime that we do a tobacco talk or a Squire Select with any of these tobaccos mentioned, like go back, pick yourself up some of this tobacco, and while John David is describing it, like just actively smell it, because the moment you say things like this creaminess, I pick it up. Like I wouldn't have been able to pick that up on my own. But you have like this way of like, obviously your palate is far more advanced than mine. But once you say it, I immediately recognize that.
Yeah, it's really I don't know. There's a lot going on in that tobacco, but I think it's simple enough for you to really enjoy with this whiskey.
Yeah, you already mentioned the branding, of course, with Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, of course, known for her curious smile, right? Like everybody's trying to figure out, like, is it a smile? Is it a frown? What is she thinking about? This is a Mona Lisa with an eyebrow raised, and she's got, I guess she's supposed to be holding a pipe. It looks like this one in particular, the art may have been rubbed off a little bit. But yeah, she's pinching something. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost like she's saying okay, or like
okay, I got it.
Magnifique, maybe.
Magnifique. You mentioned Veritas being on here as well, which, if I'm not mistaken, means truth.
I'm not sure.
All right, so there's a saying about, and I don't know if this is it, and I'm sure those of our listeners who are more into Latin, but from wine comes truth. And I recognize Veritas being part of that Latin saying.
Okay.
So I wonder if there might be a combination there, or some sort of nod to that. But yeah, absolutely beautiful branding, beautiful artwork with the kind of the square of the framework and the writing all around it. Of course, square shape.
Dan Tobacco, they're a curious tobacco company. These are folks that have been around for some time now. And they just make all these interesting flavors. They've got a significant line that is around Irish themed stuff. They've got some flake tobaccos. Their tins are always just a little different. We haven't carried a ton of them, to be honest, at the Country Squire, but the Da Vinci is one that we've always carried and has been a house favorite for a long time. So anyway, the Balvenie with Dan Tobacco's Da Vinci.
Man, I would never.
Isn't that something?
That's crazy, man. But great pairing. Absolutely great pairing. Now we still got a little Balvenie in our glasses. Oh, I see. You got a convertible glass here.
Oh no, you have one too.
Okay.
Yeah, just pull the bottom off.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So after this fine scotch, to like naysay what comes next. I'm just saying this is a tough act to follow.
No, that's the thing. It is a tough act to follow. But not everyone's favorite drink is scotch, though. We've got some folks that just aren't particularly crazy about the peatness in scotch. Of course, this Balvenie is going to be on the sweeter side just because of the rum. But I thought this would be a lot of fun. And of course, one of our listeners kind of tipped us off to this, and so we had to give it a shot because, I mean, why not? This is and very eager to try this. It is Jameson triple distilled Irish whiskey, but it's the Caskmates version. And actually, I think our friend Pappy Joe pointed us to this.
Our friend and birthday boy, by the way. Happy birthday.
Oh, man, that's great. Happy 39th birthday, Pappy Joe.
This Friday will be Pappy Joe's birthday.
That's awesome.
A gentleman's 39 is what we'll say.
That's right.
That's excellent. No, we love you, Pappy. This is a great recommendation.
Man. Yeah.
And actually, when he recommended it, I knew that we were already doing the other cask. And I thought, this is great. We'll have kind of a cask theme going.
Absolutely.
Tonight.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me a little bit about this one.
Okay. This is a lot of fun. Everyone knows Jameson. Not everyone's thing is Irish whiskey, but you think of Irish whiskey, light, sweet, not the peat, stuff or corn or anything that kind of gives, Scotch or American whiskeys their, trademark. But the Irish whiskeys have this light kind of, flowery note to them that we all love and certainly have their place. And some folks love Jameson. So, think of that. You've got the folks at Jameson that had this idea. What they did in the town of Cork, Ireland, which is Southern Ireland. There is a brewery, brews beer. It's a Franciscan Well Brewery, and they had these stout. This idea: what if we aged our beer in whiskey barrels? And so they aged some beer in whiskey barrels, and it was really good. Well, they eventually returned these whiskey barrels to Jameson, where they got them from. And Jameson was like, well, why don't we try the same thing? Why don't we try to age our Jameson in the barrels that were holding a whole bunch of stout beer? So think of like barrels that have been, cased in stout beer, for a season of time. and then they empty the beer and then they fill it with Jameson and let it sit for a while. And that's where we get the Caskmates.
I'm sure that chocolate and peanut butter sounded weird the first time it was brought up.
No, I think you're right.
And there is something of a, as you describe it, almost like a chocolate and peanut butter connection. I mean, obviously, these are both beverages that many people appreciate.
That's right.
You say some people love Jamesons. I don't know who doesn't love Jamesons. It's such a classic, such a staple. And then, of course, stouts. Now, stouts could go either way. I mean, there's a lot of beer connoisseurs who are not necessarily all about the stout.
That's right.
But I am a stout believer in the stout. So, I'm curious to see how this all plays out.
Yeah. And I'm interestingly enough, I don't drink a lot of stouts myself.
Oh, do you not?
Those that I'm not
it's
particularly.
Seasonal.
It is kind of a seasonal thing, and there's some stouts that I'm into more than others, I guess. So,
like if it's cold outside, that's when I want a stout.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like when it was 4 days ago, I wanted a stout. When it was 3 days ago, couldn't do it. It was too hot outside.
and today it's like 70, so we're kind of in the middle.
Yeah, we're all over the map here.
All right, so Jameson Caskmates, it is Irish whiskey that has been finished in a barrel that has been seasoned with a stout beer.
All right, cheers.
Shall we?
Oh, wow.
Now that's interesting.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
That's wow. All right. I almost feel like
I was really happy to learn about this.
So I like I said before, I'm a fan of Jameson's. When it comes to kind of a good Irish whiskey,
yeah,
I mean, you can't go wrong with the Jameson's. This right here, if Jameson's was a cake, like a pound cake,
yeah,
this would be like a birthday cake. It almost feels like that Jameson's is kind of coated in another flavor.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and really it is. I think there's a creaminess that's added to the Jameson's, through this process. What a lot of folks mention is that it becomes richer. And richer and thicker than a traditional Irish whiskey. I mean, they've taken the same great product and just given it some of those stout beer components, almost a creamy milkiness it's just richer. Yeah, like you said, I think the birthday cake analogy stands up pretty well.
Man, yeah, a stout whiskey. It's weird because to think of that again, the chocolate peanut butter thing surely sounded weird the first time you mentioned it, but like a stout whiskey, just the concept of that, it does not compute.
Yeah,
but man, oh man, this is excellent.
I think it's pretty great. Yeah, and what's interesting is, of course, this is a bottle. Now, I don't know, what your alcohol excise taxes are wherever you live, if you're watching or listening to us now. But, in Mississippi, a bottle of Jameson cask strength here, or Caskmates, is going to cost about $35. And to give you some perspective, a normal bottle of Jameson would cost about $24. So we're talking, $10, $11, $12 more for a bottle of this. The Balvenie, on the other hand, this is probably, it's probably a $70 bottle of whiskey here in our state.
Yeah, that's about right.
Something like that.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive whiskey, but both of these are delicious. And I think for the $35 price point, like, you're getting a really flavorful treat here.
Man.
Isn't that good? Yeah.
This is going to be a new this isn't like small batch, get them while they're here, right? Like, is this going to be a new thing?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Yeah, I'd really like to know. When I go into sipping this, thinking of those creamy stout beers, I really do taste that. I really do taste a kind of just that gentle foaminess that's just kind of lingering there in the background. So
this is like, I just had the best meal of my life, and I want to finish it off with like a good drink, kind of an after dinner drink.
Yeah,
almost kind of that dessert nature to it.
Yeah.
Like it is sweet.
It's like an after dinner coffee almost, or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, dude, this isn't like a
and even
Irish
then you kind of get some coffee in there.
Ooh,
yeah. So isn't that fine? All right. Well, for the pairing,
pair it up.
Yep. And I actually don't have a tin of this tonight, but I wanted to pair it with this.
Okay.
It is Orlik Racing Green.
I've never had that before.
I know, and it's terrible. I don't have a can of it sitting right here.
All
but
right, fair enough.
Man, Orlik Racing Green. This is a fun aromatic to smoke occasionally, particularly if you're a non-aromatic smoker, but you like something that's just a little on the sweeter side every once in a while. It's a mildly topped aromatic blend. Virginia's Burley with a small black Cavendish component. These Virginias they get actually from 3 different continents to make this stuff. Just real complex. It's what you would expect from Orlik. A little on the drier side. Super, flavorful, complex, well put together, straightforward tobacco. But it's got a cream and vanilla topping, along with kind of a hint of alcohol that's in there. It's hard to tell, but there's this alcohol component, almost like a liqueur component that's lurking in the background there. And I thought this would pair nicely just because of the creaminess to it, where you get, a lot of those coffee notes that are in there too.
You really do.
So I was excited about that. The Orlik Racing Green, it's been a favorite around here for a while. And it's just one of those tobaccos that is it's newer on Orlik's shelf, but I think it's going to stand up well. And And of course, it goes with the Jameson because it's green.
Traditionally, when I see Orlik, I'm going to assume that I'm going to like it. I've yet to have an Orlik tobacco that has not been enjoyable to me. Now that might be, maybe there's some out there I haven't tried yet. But
for an aromatic tobacco, the Orlik Racing Green, it's one of those that because it's so lightly topped, you're not just getting a ton of syrupy flavors there. It's not like a overly cased, just slurpy. This is a tobacco that's just got a real, if you're a Virginia lover and want something sweet occasionally, I'd put it maybe in the same vein as like GL Peace's Virginia Cream. It's one of those that it's an aromatic, but it's kind of put there for the folks that like something a little more naturally tasting. And so anyway, I thought it would go nicely with the Jameson. It has just a little bit of bite, but also just a nice creaminess that stands out.
Before we obviously before we went live with the show earlier this morning, I put out to the club, I sent out a message saying, hey guys, this is the menu for tonight's Squire Select. Obviously John David is going to pair these up perfectly, but we'd also like to know, like, what are some of your ideas? What are some of your suggestions? So we did get some feedback from the club. Kurt Goodwin, he said, if memory serves, Jameson Caskmates has something of a chocolate aroma. With this in mind, anything with a decent helping of burley could work very well, as burley can give its smoker a hint of chocolate. Perfect connection there.
Absolutely. I think so.
And of course, we mentioned it, but Jameson's the Caskmates was actually recommended by a longtime listener and club member as well, Pappy Joe, who wrote in saying you should try the Jameson's Caskmate with a bowl of Senior Chief.
Oh, Senior Chief,
which makes some sense because, of course, he was the inspiration of Senior Chief.
That's right. Senior Chief, of course, is one of Pappy Joe's proprietary blends that he's got here at the Country Squire. We hand blend for him and is available by request. Currently not on our website, but if you call, we can mix you some up.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Yep.
That's good. Request the Senior Chief. Tell him Pappy sent you.
That's right.
That's good. Man, excellent pairings.
Good pairings. Yeah, I was just excited to try something new and frankly, something kind of different. We a lot of times go to, stuff that's pretty straightforward. It's, maybe a little more aged or comes from an interesting part of the world. But these are something that where the, manufacturers of these products are pushing the envelope. They're taking this, they're pushing the envelope of their product and trying to come up with something that's just new and interesting. And I think both the folks at Balvenie and Jameson have done a good job.
Well, I'll tell you somebody else who likes to push the envelope in terms of their product.
Missouri Meerschaum.
The good folks at Missouri Meerschaum.
That's right, man. Absolutely.
Of course, sponsors of this show. Look, Missouri Meerschaum pipes. You've heard us talk about them. Unless this is your first episode, in which, welcome. We don't always drink beverages like this every single episode, but when we do, it gets fast and loose.
It does.
Cheers.
And we love to talk about Missouri Meerschaum.
That's right. Missouri Meerschaum, if you're looking for a corncob pipe, look no further. You're talking about really great quality smokes and corncob pipes for a fair price that do some really amazing things.
That's right.
The pipe that's actually sponsoring this episode is the freehand corncob pipe. Now, this is interesting because, you think of a corncob pipe as kind of if you envision a corn cob that you were smoking out of, you envision kind of a longer pipe.
Yeah, it's a long kind of cylindrical type pipe.
Exactly.
Right.
Larger on the top, and then it gets kind of thinner down the base. It's not the full McCarthy.
That's right. MacArthur.
Yeah,
right.
Not McCarthy. MacArthur. The full, it's not the full MacArthur, but it is kind of a nice long pipe, good size bowl. You're going to get a nice smoke out of it.
I love what they've done with the freehand corn cob. It's a little more expensive because of the customization that goes into it. It retails for just over $30, but with the freehand cob, they've roughed up the top part of this cob.
Isn't that cool?
It's just got if you think of those gnarly freehand pipes, like maybe something made by Nording or, maybe, back in a Preben Holm era pipe or something like that. These are pipes that just have that roughed up top edge where the burl is left of the briar, and they've kind of tried to evoke that some with the freehand cob. So beautiful pipe. It has an ebonite stem and just a real high quality piece and a generous bowl.
Oh, absolutely. And hey, if you happen to have a freehand corncob pipe, be sure to smoke this week. Take a selfie, tweet that into us. We'll retweet that out. It's a great way to show the good folks at Missouri Meerschaum thank you for supporting the show, which we do. We thank them for supporting the show, and we do thank you for supporting them.
That's right.
All right, man. Pipe question of the week this week comes in from listener Philip Holmes.
Yeah, local bro.
Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Philip. He says, "Hey guys, Philip Holmes here. I love the podcast and can't wait to join the club. I've got a question. Lately, I have found it difficult to smoke my pipe while reading. I know this is something that many enjoy, and I do, but it's tedious. What tricks or tips would you recommend for smoking a pipe while reading? Again, you guys are awesome. P. Holmes in Mississippi."
Yeah, great question, Phil. There's a few different things that you could do here. Of course, a lot of folks love to smoke a church warden pipe while they're reading, and the reason for that,
Because Gandalf.
well,
Hashtag because Gandalf.
hashtag Tolkien, yeah. But you've got with the church warden pipe, the bowl of the pipe is down there, kind of by your book, right? So imagine you're sitting in your chair, and your book is probably closer to your lap than your face, and the pipe is hanging low. And so it's kind of down there where, you can flip the pages easier and take some notes if you need to. So that is helpful. Other things, having the ashtray close by, keeping your tamper right at your side. These are things that a lot of folks do anyway when they're reading or when they're smoking their pipe.
Yeah.
But I think with reading, you're just going to have to be really conscious of that, something to just keep it close by. A lot of folks really like, even if it's not a church warden pipe, they like a bent pipe, a heavily bent pipe. I've got several customers here who are professors and who are also therapists. And these are people that are thinkers. They do a lot of reading, a lot of research and things like that. And they smoke pals while they are reading.
Oh, of
and
course.
And the reason
yeah.
is it's hands-free. It stays out of your line of sight.
Nose warmer.
Yeah, just right there, providing, kind of that nice smoke right in front of your face. And so I don't know, just there might be something there that you would explore. Other than that, though, you're still with your pipe, of course, gonna have the process of the pipe while you're reading, and that is, tamping and relighting occasionally if you have to, and things like that. So, a good pipe lighter can make it obviously easier. As much as we love matches, if you do need to relight your pipe quickly so you can get on with your book, a good pipe lighter helps a lot. And frankly, we've gotten hooked around here on these butane inserts for your Zippo. But the Corona pipe lighters that are real nice high-end lighters. Zycar makes some great pipe lighters. The Jetline pipe lighter we gave away tonight, which is real reasonably priced. Stuff like that where you just kind of plug and play, relight your pipe real quick, and carry on. I think those things are things that can really help. If you're sitting there reading and your goal is to kind of focus on the book and not the process of the pipe.
Yeah, that's good. I think actually, it's not necessarily reading, but I do like to smoke my pipe when I fish. In fact, if I'm going fishing, a pipe is required. And one of the things that I always do whenever I'm out on the river or here on the lake is I always use a lighter. Now, typically I prefer matches,
sure,
but you just can't two-hand it because you got a fishing pole in one hand. So having the lighter, being able to one-hand it is huge.
Yeah.
I never really even thought about the fact, but that could kind of apply in other ways. But yeah, if you want to make sure that your other hand is able to do whatever it is you're doing, be it fishing or reading. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. As still and as, motionless as we think of reading being, you're still, you're handling pages. You're trying to keep your finger on certain areas. Maybe you want to mark, or maybe you've got your hand, holding a few pages back so you can compare things. I'm talking mostly about folks that are studying, but maybe you're taking notes or, doodling on the, side of the page or something, something you need to remember. But with the lighter, at least you're able to, kind of zap that pipe back to life and then run right back to your book. So you just don't have to take the bandwidth to, think about it as much as you might with a normal match or something.
Yeah.
I love lighting a pipe with a match normally. And certainly when I'm, in conversation more with my pipe. It's easy when I'm sitting there, not doing anything, but just talking with friends or something, and having that match around as a conversation piece is kind of nice. So I tend to do that when I'm just kind of sitting and talking more, just kind of thinking. But if I am using a pipe and I'm sitting there, having to relight occasionally, while reading, it is helpful to have a lighter. So try that. Try a pipe with a very deep bend on it. Try church warden. Those are things that might make it a little easier for you. In the end, I mean, all those things to say, pipe smoking is still tedious. It's still one of those things that is going to be more time intensive. The point is the process kind of thing. We always talk about this kind of stuff. So So you're gonna have that, and you just embrace it.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, this is true. This is absolutely true. And the art form of smoking the pipe is part of the beauty of it. And yeah, actually, there is something romantic about the imagery of smoking a pipe, reading a book. You got your glass of scotch or coffee or whatever it might be that you're sitting back, enjoying the sunset. Well, actually, we get these pictures all the time from listeners who
absolutely.
are, just throughout the week. They might not even be listening to the show. They just want to show off the beautiful view that they're looking at over the mountains or over the beach or whatever, what have you. And by the way, here's my pipe. Here's the tobacco. Here's the beverage. Here's the book, whatever it might be. And you're like,
That's right,
man, that's awesome. And so you're right. It is a little work, but that's all right. That's part of the beauty of it.
Part of it.
I think actually about, for Christmas this year, along with the Balvenie, I also got a record player. And
dude, what a great gift.
Was that not awesome?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone needs one of those.
Dude, it was a very nice gift. It was kind of one of these, it was kind of on the cheaper end, which is perfectly fine because I'm not a fanatic by any stretch of the imagination. But I set it up in the studio. And a lot of times, I'll put on the records and listen to them while I'm working, that sort of thing. And it is, you realize like, oh, in order to get the song playing, you have to take it out of its sleeve and then take the sleeve out of the sleeve and then put it on, listen to it. And you only get like a couple minutes and you have to flip it over. Like, as opposed to just putting on an MP3 where you just listen to it, you lose the convenience, but you get the quality. And there is something to there's definitely something to the value of the experience as well. So
you're going into it deliberately listening to this thing because you're having to fiddle with it and you're selecting it and you're taking it out of its sleeve and putting it on and then putting it back up. It is a process. It's very similar to the process of selecting your pipe and selecting your tobacco and all that. So
tamping it, making sure you're keeping it lit. It's an art form in and of itself.
Yeah.
To get to, what it is that whatever it is you're trying to get
and
to.
the enjoyment of it in and of itself.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I don't know. Great question, Phil. I think, it might be something for you to keep in mind. Just try some different things, but in the end, embrace the fact that, pipe smoking is what it is. And, you'll find your rhythm.
Absolutely. And hey, if you've got a pipe question of the week this week, be sure to send it in show@countrysquireradio.com. Quick fire questions. Ow! All right, man. We got some quick fire questions in from the good folks, of course, at thispipelife.com. The forums over there. Mango Andy. Now, Mango Andy is sending in some quick fire questions. He's prolific over there on the forums.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's great.
All right, we got a few of them tonight. You ready for this?
Yep, bring them.
All right. Burley or Latakia?
Burley.
I mean, you got to go with Burley. Latakia is fine.
You don't have to. You don't. And there's a lot of people that are going to fight us about this. I'll probably get a lot of nasty notes. Yeah, of course.
I mean, no, I get the Latakia. That's the one you're supposed to say.
Everyone loves Latakia. I mean, no, that's fine. For me, I don't smoke as much Latakia. I'm a blender. I love, coming up with new blends. And Burley is everywhere. And it is so versatile. And it is so delicious. I love Burley. But I would venture to say a bunch of our loyal friends and listeners are going to say Latakia, but I'm a Burley guy.
Yeah, I'm fighting the urge to list off all of my favorite tobaccos here from the Country Squire and ask you if any of them don't have Burley, but I probably shouldn't have you reveal your secrets on the air.
Yeah, I wouldn't even necessarily answer you in private.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But it's one of those things. It is so versatile that you're going to find it in so many different blends out there that if I had to choose between the two, Burley.
I love Burley.
Cobb or Briar?
Briar.
Now, we love the good folks at Missouri Meerschaum.
But I'm a Briar guy.
I mean, if I got to choose between the two.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, absolutely. Some folks love the flavor the Cobb imparts, and I certainly, it always has a place in my rotation. But,
absolutely.
But, there's just that Briar, the consistency of it, the, beauty of it. It's got, the element where you can just pass it down multiple generations and it seasons. And I'm just a Briar guy.
This is going to end up becoming a second promo for Missouri Meerschaum unintentionally. So, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that I go more often than not, I do smoke a corncob pipe because typically when I'm smoking, I'm doing something else.
Yeah, sure. Where you don't want to hurt your pipe.
Exactly.
You're bad about that.
Dude,
not bad, but I mean, that's not bad about that, but that's just kind of the thing you do. You smoke a lot. Not when you're sitting down, but when you're active.
When I'm active. Right. And so I'll put it this way. If I'm fishing, if I'm in the yard, if I'm doing something, typically it's going to be a corncob pipe. But when I go to like the pipe show, or when I go to a pipe show, or when I'm, here at one of our pipe club meetings or something like that, if there's an event, I typically go to like whatever my best grain briar is, whatever.
Sure.
If I want to show something off,
Yeah.
I'm going there. One of the reasons why I mentioned, Missouri Meerschaum is because they take the good solid price of a corncob pipe, but also do some creative things and make it an art form.
Right.
Because to me, man, we come to the table for this podcast, and I think people have either picked up on this or we've explicitly said it. I mean, you're more of a tobacco guy. I'm more of a pipe guy.
Yeah.
When it comes
absolutely.
to like our interest in the subject matter, that's where it falls. And so I see the pipes very much as an art form. And so, that from that standpoint, there's so many different additional elements to make a beautiful briar pipe. I got to go with briar.
Yeah.
Got to go with briar.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just something beautiful about it.
All right. And then finally, and not related to the other two in the slightest, rock or jazz?
Burley or Latakia, briar or cob, or rock or jazz? I probably rock. Probably rock. If you take out today's rock. Yeah, I'd probably go with rock.
Is there rock today?
No, I think, well, it's under that section in Pandora or whatever, but it's really just,
it's classic rock. I mean, you could.
No, it's classic rock. Yeah,
yeah.
If you were talking classic rock and jazz, I got to go with classic rock. But jazz has its place. I love particularly Miles Davis. Occasionally play that at the shop sometimes.
Miles Davis is amazing.
Of course, and there's a million other folks that are worthy of playing at the Squire. But I would probably go to classic rock.
Okay, so I'm completely opposite. 120,000%. I'm going to go with jazz. If I'm looking for like easy listening music for almost any occasion, you're going to find it jazz.
That's such a New Orleans answer. I was about to say.
It is though, man. You can find New Orleans jazz. You can find Memphis jazz.
Yeah,
you can find Mississippi jazz.
Absolutely.
A lot of Mississippi, Memphis often associated with
it's
blues.
More blues, yeah.
But you can
They're
find
kind of kissing cousins themselves.
Find some great jazz music in there. Scat music as well, which is kind of a cousin of jazz. You gotta love jazz. And then of course, if things are getting kind of intimate in the evenings, smooth jazz. You gotta love that smooth jazz. So
that elevator music, right?
You got. Dang it, it's never gonna work for me again.
Nope.
But no, jazz all the way. Absolutely jazz. Well, great random questions, random quick fire questions from Mango Andy. Man, this closes out. Mango Andy supported us for the last several episodes.
That's great. Yeah, Mango, thanks so much for all these great questions.
He sent this in from the forums at thispipelife.com. Now, if you're not familiar, thispipelife.com, an excellent online community.
That's right.
Where you can join today. If you go to thispipelife.com, use the code CSR when you sign up. It doesn't cost you a thing one way or the other, but it is a great way to let them know that you heard about it on Country Squire Radio and thus support Country Squire Radio by using the code CSR when you sign up at thispipelife.com.
It's got so many great resources too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love it. You go over there, you can connect with other pipe smokers, learn what they're doing, what they're smoking, but also if you have questions, it's a great place just to drop a line to folks and say, hey, I've had this come up. What's going on? And you never know, it might show up on the question of the week.
All right, we got some great listener feedback this week.
Yeah, man, it's great.
All right, this first one. All right, well, I'm just going to read it.
All right.
Greetings from England.
Oh, man, that's great.
Oi, the motherland. Love the show, guys. Tune in every week. Kind of feel a bonding with other pipe smokers. Enjoy our glorious hobby, and Country Squire Radio enhances the enjoyment. Thanks. This is the part where I'm kind of fighting back the laughing. From Nigel Baird. Nigel, you didn't have to tell us you were from England. Your name is Nigel Baird.
He's from England, baby.
We know you're from England.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it,
yeah.
Man. I do think Nigel is becoming a more popular name this side of the pond.
No.
When I say more popular, I mean it's just very. The needle hasn't moved far, but I have met some Nigels that were.
You have not.
Red-blooded Americans.
You have not.
I can probably count them on two fingers. But having said that, man, that is just such a great British name, and we are thankful to hear from you, Nigel. And man, thanks for the great words.
Absolutely, absolutely. We also got an email in from J2.
Yeah, J2 says, I have to agree with you about the pipe burnout on the beach due to constant wind.
Oh yeah.
We talked about that, of course. Was that last week or week before?
A couple weeks ago.
The trouble with smoking a pipe on the beach, and you've got the wind and just the practicality of it. Your pipe can get overheated and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, J2 goes on to say, don't forget about the pipe like the Orlick Hurricane, which is made for the beach, the boat, a convertible, or a Jeep. It keeps the fire in the bowl and limits the wind on the tobacco. Don't leave that pipe in the room. Take it to the beach with you. While I love the beach, there's nothing like standing in a mountain, in standing in a mountain trout season, fly fishing while clenching a pipe in your teeth. So anyway, thanks for your cast, J2. J2, thanks so much for that feedback. I think you're right. You're onto something there with any pipe that's got a nice cover on it, or the ability to protect itself from wind. It can really help with that whole process. But yeah, man, it sounds like you're a mountain guy anyway. So,
dude, I got to tell you, that was a beautiful image. I love fly fishing with a pipe. I mean, man, I've already talked about it this show, but it's one of my favorite things is going up to Michigan every year and going fly fishing and enjoying my pipe out there. Either my bulldog, my estate bulldog, or my country gentleman, one or the other. So good. So good. Man, great listener feedback. We also got some wonderful listener feedback in from the club as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kurt Goodwin, he says, I would just like to thank you for doing this, referring to the Country Squire Radio Pipe Club. I live in a very small rural area. In fact, we're the largest town within an hour's drive at a whopping 6,500 residents.
Man.
Needless to say, without the wonderful World Wide Web, and yes, he did use 4 W's there, I wouldn't have a chance to be part of any sort of pipe community. Listening to you guys is like food for my soul, and after a long day of work, there's nothing I'd rather do than pack a bowl, sit back, and simply take in the sweet goodness that is CSR. I am so proud to support the efforts and be part of this great community. Thank you guys. Well, Kurt, man,
I'm just so honored by this, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we're just honored that we can be a part of your experience and vice versa. Man, it's so great to be able to connect with folks that Kurt, he's in a town of 6,500 people, and it's the county seat in some small town somewhere, and we get to connect every week. It just that means the world.
Man,
so thanks so much, brother.
It really, you're right, man. It is amazing, and obviously with the Pipe Club, for those of you who are already members, those of you who are considering, we want to grow this community. We've got some great goals and things that we want to do in the coming weeks and months, especially, and we're just really looking forward to seeing how this community can grow, how we can not only connect with you, but how we can also provide ways for you to connect with each other. And so, if you're thinking about want to join the Pipe Club while also helping the creation and supporting this podcast, head over to patreon.com/Country Squire Radio. Or go to countrysquireradio.com. We got a big banner that says "Join the Club."
Join the club.
You can't
Support
miss
the show.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, so do that. It is a great way to help us out. Another great way to help us out is heading over to iTunes and writing us a review. It's always wonderful to get those wonderful reviews as well. So if you have not done so already, we would love for you to do that. But we of course have to mention, we've this week we gave away a beautiful handcrafted case with a wonderful
leather pouch,
and we do continue throughout this month to give away a gift every single episode to a Pipe Club member. What is the gift for the prize for next week?
Yeah, so next week, for all the folks that are full members of the Pipe Club, be it at the Squire level or the Pilgrim level, we will have, I'm really excited about this. This is a Bird and Bear leather pipe loop stand. It's really beautiful. Danny, of course, that made this week's gift is made a part of next week's gift as well. It's a really nice.
Way, if you're not on his mailing list,
yeah, you need to check. He's got some eye candy that he puts out whenever he makes a new pipe. But really nice leather stand here that we've got for your pipe. You can sit it next to your favorite chair and just keep your pipe handy. Man, the big one on this one is this is really cool. This is a Savinelli.
Oh, wait, hang on. Are we giving away a pipe?
We are.
We're giving away a pipe?
We're giving away a pipe with this, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. So you get the leather loop as a pipe stand, but the winner next week will also win a Savinelli unfinished pipe that has been finished by our own two combs at Rocks Pipes.
A Savinelli Rocks collaboration.
It's a finished, unfinished. Yeah, man. So this is really cool. What two with Rocks Pipes did. Two's obviously a good friend of the show and comes in the Squire all the time. We love to, and he's been on the air before. But he took a Savinelli unfinished pipe that he could tell just had some really nice ring grain on it. Two's a sucker for just beautiful ring grain.
Yeah, both on briar and on the mortar as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if he finds it, he's just tickled to blast it. I've seen two blast briar that probably could have been a smooth $400 pipe, but he's like, "Oh man, it's got ring grain. We got to blast it." and man, so what Two did on this unfinished pipe, he blasted it and then gave it just a really nice dark kind of wine colored stain on there. And man, so it's a Savinelli pipe that has been finished by Two Combs himself. It's got the little Savinelli Italy stamp on the bottom, and I think with this pipe loop, it is going to make a nice prize for someone next week.
Man, it's a beautiful pipe. And by the way, we get this from time to time. Two Combs rocks pipes. I've mentioned on the show several times that one of my favorite pipes is a rocks pipe.
That's right.
What I call the Rhino.
Yeah.
And from time to time, I'll actually have listeners write in like, "Hey, can you just send me a picture of that? That just sounds really interesting." So
I know
it's always fun to send that in.
We've actually got a few of those available on our website right now. So if you go to the CountrySquireOnline.com, you can kind of peruse through his Simple Series pipes, which I know there's one Morta on there. He's got several that have the stainless steel shank, or really sharp. But anyway,
somebody got the his olive, like it was the Rhino style in terms of kind of the with the metal shank and kind of the round style. And so I can't remember who it was. It was either Mark VV or Varge, one or the other.
I think it was Mark, but Mark. I have one of those too, actually.
Okay.
Well, yeah, he made a couple of them.
Like those olive pipes done in the style of the Morta pipes, like it has been lovingly named the White Rhino.
The white.
It's awesome.
That's great.
But man, this awesome Savinelli rocks hybrid right here, along with this beautiful leather stand from Bird and Bear. Can't wait to get that away to one lucky pipe club member.
Yeah, that'll be next week.
That's right, man. So again, countrysquireradio.com, join the club, click it there. You can also tune in every single week at countrysquireradio.com, where we do the show live on Monday nights. Of course, you can find us here at 6:30 Central Time. That is 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, countrysquireradio.com. You can also follow us throughout the week. You can follow me. I'm at The Real Beau York.
I'm at John David Cole, or you can get us at the shop at _Country Squire.
And of course, all that information and more can be found at countrysquireradio.com. Well, man, I got to tell you,
this was fun.
I love Squire Select. I was even thinking back to our first time that we did this, and much like how you ridicule me for suggesting that we should pair up barbecue and pipe tobacco. In the early days, you were like, you just want an excuse to drink on air.
Yeah, that there it is. I mean, it is what it is. But hey, what's beautiful is that our listeners get an excuse to imbibe with us sometimes.
No, it's
at least the ones that partake. And what would be interesting is if we ever did a barbecue and pipe tobacco pairing. Would the folks on the other end of that camera over there be eating ribs?
No, there's something to that.
I don't know. Maybe we give them an excuse too to pull out the pulled pork.
Look, if we ever do like a super show where we have everybody come into town, I say we get like a barbecue slab going, and like that could be the show. Like everybody gets some of that barbecue, get some of the pipe tobacco,
barbecue, pipe tobacco, and then everyone takes a nap.
Oh my gosh! Yes is the answer to that question. One thing too about the old Squire Select episodes is back in the day we used to be sitting the entire. I guess you still have been sitting, but I've been standing.
Yeah, you're standing, so it's more complicated for you now.
It is. I used to be more relaxed and go way more off topic, but not necessarily the case tonight.
Now you just spill his stuff all over the place.
All over the place.
Hey, so far tonight you've done well.
Let's quit while we're ahead.
That's right.
Hey man, let's go have a night.
See you, brother.
Thanks, guys, so much for tuning into the show. We love you so much. And be sure, like I said, if you haven't already, join the club, countrysquireradio.com. Click join the club. It'll take you there. And thank y'all for supporting the show and the YouTube channel.
Yep.
And I think that's it.
Man, that's it. Thanks so much. And we look forward to seeing y'all again next week.
And the memes, guys, really, the memes.
I love it.
I know you do.
What do you say? Will you tingle in the front?
I remember
whatever?
that one. I don't remember the context in which that joke started, but I do remember that was a joke.
What I want to know of is, and it was Mark VV. He's got a
yes.
His now it's actually he's got a bent. It's
he's got a bent
style, but it is olive.
It's olive rhino, white rhino,
rocks pipe. But you know what? Yeah, I lost my train of thought.
It's probably for the best. Cheers, guys.
Good night, y'all.